दिया हुआ कि नहीं? ये फ्रेम दे दो ना। You're good. You're good. देखिए अब आ गया होगा। मिला ना? ले लीजिए। इसी में मिलेगा जिसके अराइवल और 3 लोग दिख रहा है ना, जैसे दिखा रहा है। ऐसे पीएम आएंगे तो अराइवल शॉट इसी में मिलेगा। हाँ डंडे वाले। तो ऐसे अराइवल मिलेगा, अराइवल के बाद फिर बाद में मैक्रोन के साथ रिसीविंग मिलेगा। जब मैक्रोन आएंगे तो फिर तीसरा हमारा समिट। ठीक है, ऐसे लोग आते रहेंगे।
Sorry. arrive retard.
Mic check, mic check, mic check. Mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four. Check, check, check.
है 3 नंबर पे डेढ़ मार रहा है। इसके बाद इसको ही रखना 3 नंबर, ये बस में 3 नंबर को ही रखना, क्योंकि फिर अंदर अंदर जाएंगे तो सब उसी पे आता रहेगा, है ना। उसको अपने यहाँ दे रखा है, ये नहीं है कि वहाँ दिया हो, लेकिन फ्रेम पे एक ही मिल रहा है, एक ही रहेगा। बट वैसे अंदर मैं ही रहूँगा, अंदर जाऊँगा ना अभी, तो वहाँ अकेला मैं ही हूँ, ये नहीं। ये अराइवल होगा, अराइवल होगा, उसके बाद अंदर होगा तो 3 की जाएगी तुम्हारे को, 3 की जाएगी, जहाँ हमने को लगेगा फिर सामने लेता मुझे है बहुत इंग्लिश ask you one question and make them understand and introduce it and no switching. And I have how is it going to live? I have this card, no?
Oh,
we are going for direct live. Video going for our direct live. Only for recording for the server. We are not doing everything.
This is official
Not for, I'm not doing any time. सेकंड कर दो 10 सेकंड कर दो
तो दोनों को आप सीट कर देना okay
2-3 passages qu'on entend un peu. Ils montrent en voix et on verra ce qu'on en fait.
Dès qu'on en a fini là, on
ये कैसे आपको
नई वाला भी तो लगाओ तुम बताओ
किराना का काम मत करो लिखा हुआ है सर
4 नंबर पे डाल 4 नंबर पे नहीं कभी मिला था वो भी साथ में ही खड़े थे ठीक है तो तेरे पास ऑप्शन टू मार दे सारा यूज आ गया मैं टिकट हर स्टेट के मिनिस्टर हमारे ही जो मिनिस्टर आते हैं उनका दवाई
Macron and Vance. Huh? Vance.
आप वहाँ चले जाओ क्योंकि पता है आप वहाँ पे बैठे कोई बंद नहीं जाएगा Yeah, just here, just here.
Oui.
Ouais, c'est Florent. Dis-moi,
Rédacteur, on n'a pas de rédacteur, on a une équipe télé. De reporter texte, vous voulez dire? Ils doivent être dans la salle de presse, mais je ne les ai pas vus, en tout cas. En fait, on en a 4, je ne sais pas qui vous cherchez. Oui, bien sûr, je peux vous donner le numéro d'Elisabeth. Tenez.
Ah bah d'accord. Ouais, il faut que tu descendes.
Exactement.
Donc on t'attend. C'est maintenant que tu dois prendre ton invitation.
Ça sort. Attends, j'ai un truc.
Where she is. Oh, I can see her. I can see her.
I have.
Other side में तो close हो जाएगा. इधर स्पीच के लिए है ना तो आप उसको टाइप करोगे
J'espère qu'il va pas arriver dans 1000 ans.
liste d'invités par hasard?
Si seulement, ce serait trop facile.
Merci.
De toute façon, si la bourre, moi je ferais à 11h30, je raconterais le défilé des dirigeants.
Ouais, c'est vraiment un événement international.
Ouais.
C'est du beau monde.
लेट हो थोड़ा यार हाँ बिल्कुल बात हो गया उसके लिए उन्होंने भी बोल दिया भाई उनका प्रोडक्शन है जो करेंगे वो आपको करना पड़ेगा इस पर हमारी बात हो गई मैं बस
Je l'envoie à business et après, s'ils veulent le filer à absolu, je sais pas comment ça fonctionne. Comme on est missionné par business,
Ce qui fait.
Ah, mais putain, c'est avec nous.
Bon, elle est là. C'est bon là?
Avec ses talents, avec son énergie et les investissements du monde entier.
Thank you, friends. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
non, on m'a poussé quoi, il y avait un peu de droite qui m'a foncé dessus. I think that should be it now.
Franchement, tout ça, c'est un putain de chantier. Franchement, on n'arrive pas à bosser comme des professionnels. Donc, moi, perso, je suis quand même d'autres priorités. Allez. Voilà. Je vais faire un mec qui président de la République. Avec ses talents, son énergie. Pas de son. Le poisson il est là donc. Ah merde.
Thank you. Ça va depuis hier. Ça va. Merci. Comment vas-tu? T'es en forme? Merci à toi. Rodolphe, ça va? Oui. On avance. Oui. Et Ursula. Porte-moi le coin. Toi je t'ai vu, toi je ne t'ai pas vu encore. Tu vas bien de venir? Non, merci à toi.
Bonjour, Monsieur le Président.
Comment allez-vous?
It's okay.
Non, merci.
No, I'd be delighted.
Merci. En forme? Comment allez-vous? Happy to see you.
Bonjour, Monsieur le Président.
How are you?
Très bien.
And Gossim. Fine. Non, c'est Gilbert, comment vas-tu?
We'll catch up in Munich would be wonderful. I'll be there Wednesday to Sunday. Friday maybe?
Welcome to the AI Action Summit.
And a unique opportunity to reflect on one of the most transformative forces of our time, artificial intelligence.
So much much opportunity for us. But instead of believing that AI is here to replace us, let's work on AI that can help to augment and empower us.
A broad revolution with impacts on societies in plural as a whole, that we need to think through what these transformations mean.
L'IA est une manière totalement nouvelle de créer. C'est une extension de notre imagination.
We need to work in partnership with all of you, companies, researchers, scientists.
With Prime Minister Modi, we do believe in this revolution, and we do believe in our capacity together to work in an open world, meaning to work with the US, to work with China, and a lot of them are here, India, and the whole world. Bien, mesdames, messieurs les chefs d'État et de gouvernement, mesdames, messieurs les directrices, directeurs généraux d'organisations internationales, monsieur le secrétaire général, madame la présidente de la Commission européenne, monsieur le vice-président, monsieur le vice-premier ministre, mesdames et messieurs en vos grades et qualités, chers amis, juste un mot pour vous dire combien nous sommes heureux de vous accueillir ici. Alors, hier, beaucoup d'entre vous ont pu toute la journée échanger dans ce Grand Palais que nous venons de restaurer et qui a été créé pour l'exposition universelle de 1900 et était en quelque sorte cette France confiante dans le progrès, la science et cette aventure extraordinaire. Et nous nous retrouvons ici, et c'est la première fois d'ailleurs qu'est réouvert aux yeux du monde ce petit pavillon dit d'Antin, justement ce palais qui a été fait pour l'exposition universelle de 1937. Sous l'impulsion d'un prix Nobel de chimie, M. Perrin, de l'époque, et qui avait cette conviction qu'en montrant la science aux Françaises, aux Français et au monde, on arriverait véritablement à convaincre d'embrasser cette histoire de progrès et à réussir à avoir une science au service de l'humanité. Et je crois que c'est exactement le défi qui est le nôtre avec l'intelligence artificielle. C'est-à-dire embrasser des transformations technologiques formidables, réussir à maîtriser par des capacités de calcul nouvelles, des avancées profondes, ce qu'est l'intelligence artificielle et ses implications dans beaucoup de secteurs, et le faire au service de notre humanité, dans un monde qui est bousculé par de plus en plus de crises, mais par un dialogue ouvert. Et la grande chance d'avoir aujourd'hui à la fois l'Inde, les États-Unis d'Amérique, la Chine, l'Europe, le continent africain, le continent latino-américain, d'avoir des chefs d'État, de gouvernement, des chercheurs, de la société civile, des entrepreneuses et des entrepreneurs, des investisseurs, c'est la possibilité d'avoir ce dialogue et d'essayer de suivre ce chemin et de comprendre cette science et de la mettre au service du progrès collectif. Je ne serai pas plus long, je suis très heureux de vous accueillir ici pour ce sommet qui est coprésidé avec mon ami le Premier ministre Narendra Modi. Et donc, Monsieur le Premier ministre, cher Narendra, je vais surtout vous céder la parole pour qu'on puisse vous entendre et entendre ce que l'Inde a à dire au monde sur l'intelligence artificielle. Merci à toutes et tous d'être là.
Excellencies, friends, let me begin with a simple experiment. If you upload your medical report to an AI app, it can explain in simple language, free of any jargon, what it means for your health. But if you ask the same app to draw an image of someone writing with their left hand, the app will most likely draw someone writing with the right hand. Because that is what the training data is dominated by. It shows that while the positive potential of AI is absolutely amazing, there are many biases that we need to think carefully about. That is why I am grateful to my friend, President Macron, for hosting this summit and for inviting me to co-chair it. Friends, AI is already reshaping our polity, our economy, our security, and even our society. AI is writing the code for humanity. AI is writing the code for humanity in this century. But it is very different from other technology milestones in human history. AI is developing at an unprecedented scale and speed, and being adapted and deployed even faster. There is also a deep interdependence across borders. Therefore, there is a need for collective global efforts to establish governance and standards that uphold our shared values, address risks, and build trust. But governance is not just about managing risks and rivalries. It is also about promoting innovation and deploying it for the global good. So, we must think deeply and discuss openly about innovation and governance. Governance is also about ensuring access to all, especially in the global south. It is where the capabilities are most lacking, be it compute, power, talent, data, or the financial resources. Friends, AI can help transform millions of lives by improving health, education, agriculture, and so much more. It can help create a world in which the journey to sustainable development goals becomes easier and faster. To do this, we must pull together resources and talent. We must develop open source systems that enhance trust and transparency. We must build quality data sets free from biases. We must democratize technology and create people-centric applications. We must address concerns related to cybersecurity, disinformation, and deepfakes. And we must also ensure that technology is rooted in local ecosystems for it to be effective and useful. Friend, loss of jobs is AI's most feared disruption. But history has shown that work does not disappear due to technology. Its nature changes and new types of jobs are created. We need to invest in skilling and reskilling our people for an AI-driven future. Friends, there is no doubt that the high energy intensity of AI needs to be looked into. This will require green power to fuel its future. India and France have worked together for years through initiatives like the International Solar Alliance to harness the power of the sun. As we advance our partnership to AI, it is a natural progression from sustainability to innovation to shape a smarter and responsible future. At the same time, sustainable AI does not only mean using clean energy. AI models must also be efficient and sustainable in size, data needs, and resources requirements. After all, the human brain manages to compose poetry and design spaceships using less power than most light bulbs. Friends, India has successfully built a digital public infrastructure for over 1.4 billion people at a very low cost. It is built around an open and accessible network. It has regulations and a wide range of applications to modernize our economy, reform governance, and transform the lives of our people. We have unlocked the power of data through our data empowerment and protection architecture. And we have made digital commerce, democratic and accessible to all. This vision is the foundation of India's national AI mission. That is why, during our G20 presidency, we built a consensus on harnessing AI responsibly for good and for all. Today, India leads in AI adoption and techno-legal solutions on data privacy. We are developing AI applications for public good. We have one of the world's largest AI talent pools. India is building its own large language model considering our diversity. We also have a unique public-private partnership model for pooling resources like compute power. It is made available to our startups and researchers at an affordable cost. And India is ready to share its experience and expertise to ensure that AI future is for good and for all. Friends, we are at the dawn of the AI age that will shape the course of humanity. Some people worry about machines becoming superior in intelligence to humans, but no one holds the key to our collective future and shared destiny other than us humans. That sense of responsibility must guide us. Thank you.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Thank you, Prime Minister. My name is Alessandra Galloni, and I'm Editor-in-Chief of Reuters News Agency, and I'm here this morning just to help things along. So welcome again to the closing plenary session of the AI Action Summit. So for the past day, we have been discussing and debating what is essentially the future of our societies, the future of our children, the future of our planet in the age of artificial intelligence. Our co-hosts, President Macron, Prime Minister Modi, have exhorted all of you to push the limits of your creativity, to push the limits of your imagination during these 2 days. And as we saw from the opening video, delegates have discussed AI's impact on the environment, on labor, on diversity, and on making sure that AI does not get out of control, which is something that technologists are openly worried about. AI has, in the past few years, inspired outbursts of hope, but also of fear. It has attracted an astounding amount of money. In fact, the prospect of another $97 billion just last night, and is setting up epic clashes in business and potentially in geopolitics as well. France and the European Union have pledged a lighter touch in regulation to help AI and investment in AI flourish. But as President Macron said last night at dinner, and I hope you don't mind my quoting you, paradise cannot mean the Wild West. Indeed, there may be no better measure of the stakes for the world than the simple fact of this high-octane guest list here today, in this room. We have a large cross-section of global leaders in government, technology, finance, civil society. You will set and have already shaped the future of this technology. As the editor of a global news organization whose news users are in all of your countries and look to us for fact-based news on all of your companies, I can assure you that the world is watching this event very, very carefully. So, who knows? I mean, maybe it is possible that years from now, people, and perhaps even a conscious AI, will look back upon this meeting as a milestone in humanity's relationship with thinking machines. So with this, I would like to welcome all the panelists of the sessions today to the stage. If you could all come up together, even though you're in two different sessions. So I'll call you one by one. Ms. Ursula von der Leyen, the President of the European Commission, please. Mr. Farrell-Williams, I saw you earlier. Yes, your seats are on your chairs. Mr. Artist, Mr. Farrell-Williams. Ms. Anne Bouvreau, the Special Envoy of the President of the Republic, please. Mr. Sundar Pichai, CEO of Google, please. Ms. Soo-Yeon Choi, Director General of Naver. Saw you last night at dinner. I know you're here. There you are. Mr. Petteri Orpo, Prime Minister of Finland, please. And Ms. Doreen Bogdan-Martin, Secretary General of the International Communications Union. And last but not least, Mr. Faith Birol, Director General of the International Energy Agency. So the first session, which will be moderated by Anne Bouvreau, who has been instrumental, and a big thank you to Anne for setting up this entire event of the past 2 days, will be about unlocking the opportunities of AI. So with that, Anne, over to you.
Working. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. This notion of unlocking opportunities and shared progress has been our driver towards the preparation of the summit. Throughout all the preparation, the trips that I have taken, I have heard all over the world everyone telling me we want to be part of this AI revolution. We want to be able to develop our own solutions. We want to be actors. We want to be players. And we are looking forward to come to Paris to be able to have this discussion. So, of course, there is great hope from AI. There's hope for progress in medical research. There's hope for progress in science. There's hope for new climate solutions. There's also hope for progress and new art and creativity, and we will be discussing this. But how can we make sure that these opportunities are unlocked in the short term, now or very soon? We will hear today from our distinguished guests and speakers what they are doing to make this possible, by defining strategies, by listening to the world's experts, by announcing investments, and by a number of actions. We will also, during this session, be talking about an initiative that is unveiled at the summit today, a decentralized partnership to help harness AI's vast potential. But before we get into more detail, it gives me great pleasure to welcome His Excellency, Vice President of the United States of America, J.D. Vance, to come to the podium. It is an honor. It is your first international trip outside of the United States since taking office. We're delighted to have you here.
The kind introduction, and I want to start by thanking President Macron for hosting the event and, of course, for the lovely dinner last night. During the dinner, President Macron looked at me and asked if I would like to speak, and I said, Mr. President, I'm here for the good company and free wine, but I have to earn my keep today. And I, of course, want to thank Prime Minister Modi for being here and for co-hosting the summit, for all of you for participating. And I'm not here this morning to talk about AI safety, which was the title of the conference a couple of years ago. I'm here to talk about AI opportunity. When conferences like this convene to discuss a cutting-edge technology, oftentimes I think our response is to be too self-conscious, too risk-averse. But never have I encountered a breakthrough in tech that so clearly calls us to do precisely the opposite. Now, our administration, the Trump administration, believes that AI will have countless revolutionary applications in economic innovation, job creation, national security, healthcare, free expression, and beyond. And to restrict its development now will not only unfairly benefit incumbents in the space, it would mean paralyzing one of the most promising technologies we have seen in generations. Now, with that in mind, I'd like to make 4 main points today. Number 1, this administration will ensure that American AI technology continues to be the gold standard worldwide, and we are the partner of choice for others, foreign countries, and certainly businesses as they expand their own use of AI. Number 2, we believe that excessive regulation of the AI sector could kill a transformative industry just as it's taking off, and will make every effort to encourage pro-growth AI policies, and I like to see that deregulatory flavor making its way into a lot of the conversations this conference. Number 3, we feel very strongly that AI must remain free from ideological bias, and that American AI will not be co-opted into a tool for authoritarian censorship. And finally, number 4, the Trump administration will maintain a pro-worker growth path for AI, so it can be a potent tool for job creation in the United States. And I appreciate Prime Minister Modi's point. AI, I really believe, will facilitate and make people more productive. It is not going to replace human beings. It will never replace human beings. And I think too many of the leaders in the AI industry, when they talk about this fear of replacing workers, I think they really miss the point. AI, we believe, is going to make us more productive, more prosperous, and more free. The United States of America is the leader in AI, and our administration plans to keep it that way. The U.S. possesses all components across the full AI stack, including advanced semiconductor design, frontier algorithms, and, of course, transformational applications. Now, the computing power this stack requires is integral to advancing AI technology. And to safeguard America's advantage, the Trump administration will ensure that the most powerful AI systems are built in the U.S. with American-designed and manufactured chips. Now, just because we're the leader doesn't mean we want to or need to go it alone, of course. And let me be emphatic about this point. America wants to partner with all of you. And we want to embark on the AI revolution before us with a spirit of openness and collaboration. But to create that kind of trust, we need international regulatory regimes that fosters the creation of AI technology rather than strangles it. And we need our European friends in particular to look to this new frontier with optimism rather than trepidation. Now, the development of cutting-edge AI in the U.S. is no accident, By preserving an open regulatory environment, we've encouraged American innovators to experiment and to make unparalleled R&D investments. Of the $700 billion, give or take, that's estimated to be spent on AI in 2028, over half of it will likely be invested in the United States of America. Now, this administration will not be the one to snuff out the startups and the grad students producing some of the most groundbreaking applications of artificial intelligence. Instead, our laws will keep big tech, little tech, and all other developers on a level playing field. Now, with the President's recent executive order on AI, we're developing an AI action plan that avoids an overly precautionary regulatory regime while ensuring that all Americans benefit from the technology and its transformative potential. Now, we invite your countries to work with us and to follow that model if it makes sense for your nations. However, the Trump administration is troubled by reports that some foreign governments are considering tightening the screws on U.S. tech companies with international footprints. Now, America cannot and will not accept that, and we think it's a terrible mistake, not just for the United States of America, but for your own countries. The U.S. innovators of all sizes already know what it's like to deal with onerous international rules. Many of our most productive tech companies are forced to deal with the EU's Digital Services Act and the massive regulations it created about taking down content and policing so-called misinformation. And of course, we want to ensure the internet is a safe place, but it is one thing to prevent a predator from preying on a child on the internet, and it is something quite different to prevent a grown man or woman from accessing an opinion that the government thinks is misinformation. Meanwhile, for smaller firms, navigating the GDPR means paying endless legal compliance costs or otherwise risking massive fines. Now, for some, the easiest way to avoid the dilemma has been to simply block EU users in the first place. Is this really the future that we want? Ladies and gentlemen, I think the answer for all of us should be no. Now, there's no issue where we worry about more than regulation when it comes to energy. And again, I appreciated the comments of so many at the conference because they recognize that we stand now at the frontier of an AI industry that is hungry for reliable power and high-quality semiconductors. Yet too many of our friends are deindustrializing on the one hand and chasing reliable power out of their nations and off their grids with the other. The AI future is not going to be won by hand-wringing about safety. It will be won by building, from reliable power plants to the manufacturing facilities that can produce the chips of the future. Now, at a personal level, what excites me most about AI is that it is grounded in the real and the physical economy. The success of the sector isn't just a matter of smart people sitting in front of a computer screen and coding. It depends on those who work with their hands, even as robotics will change our factories. It will certainly make our healthcare providers better at treating diseases, but it will also depend on the data produced by those healthcare providers, by those doctors and nurses. I believe it will help us create and store new modes of power in the future, but right now, AI cannot take off unless the world builds the energy infrastructure to support it. Now, it's my view that tech innovation over the last 20 years has often conjured images of smart people staring at computer screens, engineering in the world of bits. But the AI economy will primarily depend on and transform the world of atoms. Now, at this moment, we face the extraordinary prospect of a new industrial revolution, one on par with the invention of the steam engine or Bessemer steel. But it will never come to pass if overregulation deters innovators from taking the risks necessary to advance the ball. Nor will it occur if we allow AI to become dominated by massive players looking to use the tech to censor or control users' thoughts. And I'd ask, if you step back a moment and ask yourself, who is most aggressively demanding that we, meaning political leaders gathered here today, do the most aggressive regulation? It is very often the people who already have an incumbent advantage in the market. And when a massive incumbent comes to us asking us for safety regulations, we ought to ask whether that safety regulation is for the benefit of our people or whether it's for the benefit of the incumbent. Now, over the last few years, we've watched as governments, businesses, and nonprofit organizations have advanced unpopular and, I believe, downright ahistorical social agendas through AI. In the U.S., we had AI image generators trying to tell us that George Washington was black or that America's doughboys in World War I were in fact women. Now, we laugh at this now, and of course it was ridiculous, but we have to remember the lessons from that ridiculous moment. And what we take from it is that the Trump administration will ensure that AI systems developed in America are free from ideological bias and never restrict our citizens' right to free speech. We can trust our people to think, to consume information, to develop their own ideas, and to debate with one another in the open marketplace of ideas. Now, we've also watched as hostile foreign adversaries have weaponized AI software to rewrite history, surveil users, and censor speech. This is hardly new, of course. As they do with other tech, some authoritarian regimes have stolen and used AI to strengthen their military, intelligence, and surveillance capabilities, capture foreign data, and create propaganda to undermine other nations' national security. I want to be clear. This administration will block such efforts, full stop. We will safeguard American AI and chip technologies from theft and misuse, work with our allies and partners to strengthen and extend these protections, and close pathways to adversaries attaining AI capabilities that threaten all of our people. And I would also remind our international friends here today that partnering with such regimes, it never pays off in the long term. From CCTV to 5G equipment, we're all familiar with cheap tech in the marketplace that's been heavily subsidized and exported by authoritarian regimes. But as I know, and I think some of us in this room have learned from experience, partnering with them means chaining your nation to an authoritarian master that seeks to infiltrate, dig in, and seize your information infrastructure. Should a deal seem too good to be true, just remember the old adage that we learned in Silicon Valley: if you aren't paying for the product, you are the product. Finally, this administration wants to be very clear about one last point. We will always center American workers in our AI policy. We refuse to view AI as a purely disruptive technology that will inevitably automate away our labor force. We believe, and we will fight for policies that ensure that AI is going to make our workers more productive, and we expect that they will reap the rewards with higher wages, better benefits, and safer and more prosperous communities. From law to medicine, manufacturing, the most immediate applications of AI almost all involve supplementing, not replacing, the work being done by Americans. Now, combined with this administration's worker-first approach to immigration, we believe that a U.S. labor force prepared to use AI to its fullest extent will instead attract the attention of businesses that have offshored some of these roles. To accomplish this, the administration will make sure that America has the best trained workforce in the world. Our schools will teach students how to manage, how to supervise, and how to interact with AI-enabled tools as they become more and more a part of our everyday lives. And as AI creates new jobs and industries, our government, businesses, and labor organizations have an obligation to work together to empower the workers, not just of the United States, but all over the country, all over the world. To that end, for all major AI policy decisions coming from the federal government, the Trump administration will guarantee American workers a seat at the table, and we're very proud of that. Now, I've taken up enough of your time, so I'd like to close with just a quick story. This is a beautiful country, President Macron, and I know that you're proud of it and should be. And yesterday, as I was touring Les Invalides with General Gravette with my 3 kids, he was kind enough to show me the sword that belonged to America's dearest international friend from our own revolution, of course, the Marquis de Lafayette. He let me hold the sword, but of course he made me put on the white gloves beforehand. And it got me thinking of this country, France, and of course of my own country, and of the beautiful civilization that we have built together with weapons like that saber. Weapons that are dangerous in the wrong hands, but are incredible tools for liberty and prosperity in the right hands. I couldn't help but think of the conference today. If we choose the wrong approach on other things that could be conceived of as dangerous, things like AI, and choose to hold ourselves back, it will alter not only our GDP or the stock market, but the very future of the project that Lafayette and the American founders set off to create. Now, this doesn't mean, of course, that all concerns about safety go out the window, but focus matters. And we must focus now on the opportunity to catch lightning in a bottle, unleash our most brilliant innovators, and use AI to improve the well-being of our nations and their peoples. With great confidence, I can say it is an opportunity that the Trump administration will not squander. And we hope everyone convened here today feels exactly the same. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for your comments. I would now like, it gives me great honor to call to the podium Her Excellency President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen.
Monsieur le Président, cher Emmanuel, Presidents, Your Serene Highness, Prime Ministers, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. This is the third Summit on AI in just over 1 year. In the same period, 3 new generations of ever more powerful AI models have been released. Some expect models that will approach human reasoning within a year. Now, the past summits focused on laying the groundwork for AI safety. We build a shared consensus that AI will be safe and that it will promote our values and benefit humanity. But this summit is focused on action, and that is exactly what we need right now. The time has come for us to formulate a vision of where we want AI to take us as a society and as humanity. And then we need to act and accelerate Europe in getting there. And that is what I'd like to address today, Europe's specific place in the global race on AI. We want Europe to be one of the leading AI continents. And this means embracing a way of life where AI is everywhere. You all know that AI can help us boost competitiveness, protect our security, shore up public health, make access to knowledge and information more democratic. And this is what you, the entrepreneurs, the researchers, the investors, the business leaders are showcasing here in Paris and that you are doing every single day. This is a glimpse of the AI continent we want to become. Now, too often, I hear that Europe is late to the race, while the United States or China have already gotten ahead. I disagree, because the AI race is far from being over. Truth is, we're only at the beginning. The frontier is constantly moving. Global leadership is still up for grabs. And behind the frontier lies the whole world of AI adoption. AI has only just begun to be adopted in the key sectors of our economy and for the key challenges of our times. And this should be Europe's focus. bringing AI to industry-specific applications and harness its power for productivity and for people. And this is where Europe can truly lead the race. So Europe has everything to gain. But of course, we need our own distinctive approach to artificial intelligence. Too often, I have heard that we should replicate what others are doing and run after their strengths. I think that instead, we should invest in what we can do best and build our own strengths here in Europe. Our own strengths are our science and technology mastery that we have given to the world. As this summit shows, there's a distinct European brand of AI. It is already driving innovation and adaptation, and it is picking up speed. So, what are the main features? First, European AI focuses on AI adoption in complex applications, using our unique industrial and manufacturing data and know-how. Second, European AI is cooperative. It brings talents together from different countries, from different sectors, from different backgrounds. It is that same spirit of our collaborative approach to science which has produced many a breakthrough and a huge pool of talent. Just think about Horizon Europe. And third, European AI embraces the power of open source. And open source can spread much faster along with proprietary systems. It is for all these reasons that the AI startup scene in Europe is booming. The number of unicorns has increased by 10 times in just a few years. So this European brand of open innovation is showing results. But now it needs to be supercharged. It needs to get a push. And this is why it's the right place to be here at this AI Action Summit. We will act in two ways. First, we want to accelerate innovation. Europe has some of the world's fastest public supercomputers. We're now putting them at the service of our best startups and our best scientists so they can forge the AI we need. They can test their model. They can train their model on our supercomputers. In just a few months, we've set up a record of 12 AI factories. And we're investing 10 billion euros in them. And this is not a promise. This is happening right now. And it is the largest public investment in AI in the world. So this will unlock over 10 times more private investment. Our goal is that every company, not only the big players, can access the computing power they need. We want AI developers to compete based on how innovative they are, not just on their access to chips or the size of their financial firepower. And now we are also bringing AI factories to the next level, to AI gigafactories, very large data and computing infrastructure for very large models. We want to replicate the success story of the CERN in Geneva. As you all know, CERN hosts the largest particle accelerator in the world, and it allows the best and the brightest minds in the world to work together. And we want the same to happen in our AI gigafactories. We provide the infrastructure for large computational power. Researchers and entrepreneurs and innovators will be able to join forces. Talents of the world are welcome. Industries will be able to collaborate and federate their data. We're creating safe space for them. Just take the European health data space. Because yes, AI needs competition, but AI also needs collaboration. And AI needs the confidence of the people and has to be safe. And actually, this is the purpose of the AI Act, to provide for one single set of safe rules across the European Union, 450 million people, instead of 27 different national regulations, and safety is in the interest of business. At the same time, I know that we have to make it easier, and we have to cut red tape, and we will. Finally, computational power requires immediate, substantial financial capital from both public and private. In this context, I welcome the European AI Champions Initiative that pledges 150 billion euros from providers, investors, and industry. And today I can announce that with our Invest AI initiative, we can top up by 50 billion euros. So thereby, we aim to mobilize a total of 200 billion euros for AI investment in Europe. We will have a focus on industrial and mission-critical applications. It will be the largest public-private partnership in the world for the development of trustworthy AI. And finally, cooperative AI can be attractive well beyond Europe, including our partners in the Global South. And in this spirit, we fully support the AI Foundation that is being launched today. AI can be a gift to humanity, but we must make sure that its benefits are widespread and that its benefits are accessible to all. We want AI to be a force for good. We want an AI where everyone collaborates and everyone benefits. This is our path. This is our European path. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you very much, President von der Leyen, for your comments and for the announcements that you made today. It gives me great pleasure to continue this discussion on unlocking opportunities. And we've discussed the opportunities that we tend to speak about a lot in health, in a number of sectors. Let me maybe start by one of the not so obvious ones. Let's start with arts and creative industries. First of all, we have dedicated during this AI week a whole weekend to this topic of AI and art and culture. We have had both wonderful creations showcased by artists, but also discussions about the challenges that lie between AI and creation, because it's not always something that comes as the first example of benefits of AI. With us today we have Farah Williams. We're delighted to have you here. You're an extraordinarily creative artist, and so who better than you could share a few thoughts about AI and creativity? Farah, please.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I don't know how you guys do this with the thing in the ear. The benefits for me are very different than what we often hear discussed when people reference AI. most of the time when we hear about AI, we hear mostly fears. It's going to take our jobs, it's going to take your job, it's going to take this, it's going to take that. And it's interesting to me because, you know, as we think about the preparedness for AI, we're worried about what it's going to do, but you have to remember who and what is going to be using it and for what reasons. People will need to use AI. They're going to need jobs. There will be jobs there for them. Will there be some jobs that people lose? Sure. But I think if you're gonna be prepared for AI, then you have to be prepared for AI. Me personally, I see it like I think we have our fears miscasted in the wrong areas. Like I don't think we should be fearful of what AI is going to do. What we should do, you know, in this whole AI race, what we need to remember is the human race. Because it's humans that are essentially going to be using the AI, and it's what they're going to do. You know, are they people with good conduct or bad conduct? Are they people with great ideas, inspiration, and innovation, or is it criminals? Right? I think we need to work on ourselves. And I think if we can get ourselves in a good place, humming like an engine, then when AI really truly penetrates regular everyday society and community lives, I think it's going to be fine because people will have the right ideas about how we use it. It, in my opinion, you know, it's just like alcohol or a car or firearms. Believe it or not, it takes responsibility. Alcohol in the wrong arms, in the wrong hands is a problem. A car in the hands of someone who is too young and inexperienced to drive it could be life-threatening. AI is no different. It's who's using it and what the intention is what I think we need to think about first and foremost.
Do you use AI for some of to help you create, or do you just use it in daily life, or do you just not use it?
Well, that's the other thing too. You know, people talk about like creatives using AI. We wouldn't use AI to help us write a song. Well, then what would we do? Right? AI is much more like worker bee, minutia, are the ways that we would use it. Other people would use it in a computational way, you know, in some lab or you know, maybe an organization set up in some sort of, with tech, would use it in a completely different way. But the way that we would use it would be much more like utility. It wouldn't replace creativity. I just think that there's just too much fear around it. And, you know, there was a whole thing around the year 2000 as well. But we're fine. We survived that. Or, you know, in my country they call it libraries. Here it's called a bibliothèque. It's still there. You can go visit it. It's not replaced. It's a beautiful place to walk around in, and you can research. But there's nothing like a search engine, right, Sundar? There's nothing like a beautiful place where you can go and search. But this is the next step. This is the place where you can not only ask questions, but you can get examples back. I think that's an amazing thing, and I think there's nothing to be fearful about. It's just, we just have to be prepared. Just don't treat it the way we did when we brought alcohol into the conversation, or how we did cars. We need to treat this a little bit different. This is a great opportunity for us as a species to move forward with utility.
Well, thank you. I think we've heard over the years lots of comparisons for AI, but alcohol is one that I hadn't heard. So, but I take great comfort from what from your vision, which is really of AI augmenting artists and your job. Maybe I can ask a question of Sundar Pichai. We're delighted to have you here. I've heard you speak about risks of AI, but also about the way it can help augment communities, for example. So what are your thoughts on this and on the opportunities and how we can unlock them in AI?
First of all, thank you, President Macron, Prime Minister Modi. It's great we are having a conversation on such an important topic. Look, at Google, we have felt this important tension, both the wonderful opportunities AI presents. It's obviously a dual-use technology, like you gave examples, and so the risks that come with it. So we actually encapsulated this tension as a bold and responsible, that our approach needs to be both bold and responsible, and there is tension between it, but we grapple with it. The reason we need to be bold is, it is so obvious as we are making progress, how profoundly it'll impact many areas. The best example I can think of is with AlphaFold, we've now unlocked, how to decode protein structures. Just so that everyone understands, it used to take one person their entire PhD to do one protein. And within 3 months, AlphaFold unlocked over 200 million protein structures. Now it's an open database, and already we see hundreds of thousands of researchers and biologists using it to develop vaccines, etc. So you can so tangibly feel the impact of progress. So you feel a moral imperative to be bold and accelerate progress there, right? And when it comes to the economy, it's very clear that you'll be unlocking more productivity. And I do worry people who don't adopt it, countries which don't embrace it, can get left behind through this crucial moment. So those are all the opportunities we see, and we want to lean in to drive that progress. Obviously, as Farrell mentioned, it's a technology with dual use, and how do you make sure the bad effects don't propagate? Examples where we are working on, we slow down and think about image generation or video generation. It will both unleash creativity in the tools of artists and so on, but people can use it to create deep fakes. So we are early on working on technology like SynthID, watermarking technology. We will need standards, and those are areas where governments and private companies can work together to create a standardized way to detect deep fakes, right? And so you have to take that balance as we move through this, and we embrace it. We cherish the tension, we debate it, and we all need to do that more, I think.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for highlighting the area of AI and science, where really, first of all, of course, the AlphaFold is absolutely fascinating and led to a Nobel Prize, or Nobel Prizes, which is really impressive. But yeah, what you said about also being mindful about standards and tools and open source tools for open science, I think is particularly important. Maybe let me come back to you in terms of this technology which has an impact around the world. Do you see a challenge in potentially having this opportunity developing more in developed markets, in Western economies, and maybe not around the world? Do you have any thoughts on whether you have fears about that and whether you could see a need for action in this direction?
First of all, I never got a chance to say thank you for having me here, so thank you guys, and it's nice to be here. I just think that we need to stop using the word fears. Like, I just don't think it's good for the progression of just our species. It's just not really done well for us.
Calling this unlocking opportunities.
Yes,
we're on opportunity.
Yes, it's listen. There's one thing for us to be concerned, but not for us to be fearful. It's a utility. And it can make life, and it's also an accelerator. It can make life a whole lot better, a whole lot quicker. But it depends on who's using it as to whether it goes bad quicker. You know, for me, I feel like this is something that the world needs, but I think we just need to be ready with ourselves before we fully engage. I don't think that it's about the jobs being lost. I think it's about perspective, and I think it's about what our intentions are. You know, what are you going to do with it when you use it? And we're trying to help people understand. But again, this has been created by brilliant code writers who probably shouldn't be the ones communicating about what it's going to do and what it's going to be.
That's a good point.
You know, in their minds, it's like, they're going to take your jobs. Well, the average person hears that, and it freaks them out. But this is no different than, like I said, search engines being created. There was this whole thing on how libraries are going to be burned down, and you know, they were not going to use them anymore. And that's not what's happened. What's happened is search engines make things a whole lot easier. People got answers a lot quicker. Well, now you're going to be able to get renderings and ideas and examples a lot quicker. Sure, it's going to be more than that. But I think for the average human being, that'll be the way that they interact. It will help them accelerate, get answers quicker, be more efficient. That's the average person. Now, on the Silk Road, we're going to have some problems.
Well, thank you. I love your comparison of the library. I think the other night at dinner, someone from a distinguished university said universities have been one of the longest standing institutions of humanity that still exists today. And I think it's the same for libraries.
Sure,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Maybe, Sonar, on this topic of opportunities and different perceptions around the world, what do you see as short-term or mid-term opportunities from AI? Let's say not 10 years, we don't know what AI will be in 10 years, but, and maybe not what we know today, but 2 to 4 years from now, and around the world, what do you see as opportunities and ways to make sure they become reality if it's, in case it's not obvious that this happens just by itself?
Look, in a 2 to 4 year time frame, and thank you for, 10-year time frames are hard to predict, but in a 2 to 4 year time frame, maybe I'll highlight a key area which us and a few other companies are working on, which I think will really make progress. We call this agentic workflows. So anywhere you can describe a task in natural language, and the AI can act on your behalf and accomplish that. And so today, to give you an example, there are 2 examples within Google. We have a Project Mariner. It's a browser extension. So the browser can actually go browse and do things for you, complete and come back. If you look at where the state of the art was maybe a year ago, it was kind of roughly 50% effective. So you give it a complex sequence of tasks, it needs to get everything done accurately. Today, it's progressed to around 85%, right? And so, but that shows the progress. Similarly for coding, as a software engineer at Google, today when you're programming, the AI is there on the side, it gives you suggestions and you accept it. But we are now working on where you can give it instructions, it'll automatically go and write the program and get it done. And so now imagine the impact of this agentic use cases working horizontally across many, many tasks. I think that's going to be very, very powerful. So the real promise of having an AI assistant in the context of anything you're doing, be it while learning something, a radiologist looking at images, a doctor engaging with a patient, all of that is going to be assisted, and it's going to deeply be embedded in your workflows. That is as real as it gets in a 2 to 4 year time frame. And you can imagine the impact from a productivity standpoint, and I think that's one of the most tangible opportunities. I think it's very, very real that it will happen.
Well, may I also say,
please go ahead.
Just to add on to what he was saying, when I was, as you were speaking, it reminded me of, I'm a 70s baby. It reminded me of like a lot of the television shows that we grew up on the first 15, 20 years of my life. There was a talking horse. There's a talking car. There's talking robots. And we love them. And if you looked at the characters in all of these television shows and films, they loved them and they had a great time. And why were they having a great time? Why weren't they panicked? Because this was a part of their everyday lives. These things acted as utilities. Now, the horse was a horse, and they didn't know everything. But the cars and the robots that I remember, they knew everything. You could ask them anything. And I remember a lot of the protagonists, their lives being made a lot easier and a lot more convenient and efficient. And it's going to be no different than that. The things that we worry about, like I said, are the bad conductors.
Yeah, and we do get used to things once we've had them for a while. Excellent. I think this has been a very interesting discussion. I'd like to thank you both. I'd like to thank our previous speakers on this topic. Again, on this topic of unlocking opportunities, maybe going back to some of the remarks of Prime Minister Modi, we see all around the world people saying, we also want to be part of this. We want to be as ready as people in the US, in some of the European countries, in China. We also want to be part of that. And as such, we have had lots of discussions about how we can make sure open source, decentralized data can help create these decentralized innovation hubs. And to this effect, it gives me great pleasure to welcome to the stage Martin Tisney, CEO of AI Collaborative, who's been working as part of the AI Action Summit team, to tell us about the foundation, the current AI partnership that is being unveiled today. Martin, you have the floor.
Good morning. The way artificial intelligence is built and deployed today is shaping our societies, determining how we work, who has access to healthcare and education, and whether technology, a new partnership dedicated to ensuring that artificial intelligence serves the public interest, that AI serves communities, strengthens economies, and expands opportunity for all. We are at a pivotal moment. The choices we make today will define the role AI plays in our societies for generations to come. We believe the answer lies in collaboration, bringing together governments, researchers, civil society organizations, and communities to make AI more open, more accountable, and more accessible. Public interest technology is both about preventing harm, and at the same time, it's about creating a better future. Imagine an organization using AI that helps oncologists provide tailored treatments to their cancer patients. Imagine AI as a spark for our children's imagination that fires up their creativity rather than dulls it. These are the kinds of possibilities we unlock when AI serves the many, not just the few. Current AI will expand access to high-quality public and private data sets, will invest in open-source tools, and develop systems to assess and evaluate AI's social and environmental impacts. I invite all of you to join us in this effort, because the future of AI isn't something that happens to us. It's something we build together. Thank you.
Artificial intelligence is the cognitive industrial revolution.
Technology is a strong enabler for humanity.
It's super important that we act now together when it's possible to shape it, whereas later where we might regret not doing anything.
We're at an historic moment here in Paris as the group meets to think through what are the implications of these technologies for society.
The question is, will technology drive what our humanity will look like, or will our humanity drive our future?
we have the benefit of this revolution in technology coming hot on the heels of the past 15 years of social media, where we've learned so much about what can go right and what can go wrong.
Well, innovation is great, but I don't believe in innovation for innovation. I think it needs to be innovation with a purpose.
Current AI is an exceptionally promising initiative that brings together funders and others to figure out how we can help shape this technology in a way that serves humanity in a very inclusive manner.
Current AI is a public interest partnership that brings together governments, philanthropy, civil society and companies to unlock opportunities from AI and at the same time minimize harms.
It's everyone's responsibility to create AI that works in the public interest.
Just having AI does not create the outcomes that we want. Having guardrails, having government, having institutions that are willing to create norms and standards and expectations and aspirations for these powerful tools and technologies are deeply important.
Our focus is really threefold: accessible and available data in privacy-preserving ways, open source AI, ensuring that the open source AI ecosystem is resilient, and the third one is deeply involving the communities that are impacted so that we are problem-centric.
There's a lot of opportunities around applications. In my country, we're investing heavily in agriculture because our population is growing. We have to be able to feed ourselves. AI can help us do that better.
It's really important that not only big tech is capable of developing with AI, so that everyone really can benefit from this technology.
We need to understand that equitable outcomes, responsible outcomes just are not going to come from the tools themselves.
We need to do things in the affirmative sense, not just think about regulation and things that we want to forbid.
I think especially people who are worried about the future of AI, the most important thing to realize is this is very
And I thought that I would ask you all a question. I know you're heads of government and state, and so usually you don't play games like this, but I'm going to ask you to do it. And my question is something that was raised by Pharrell Williams. The question I'm going to ask you is, are you more fearful than hopeful about AI, or are you more hopeful than fearful? And I would like to see your hands raised. So the first question, which of you is more fearful than hopeful about AI? A room of optimists. One. Okay, and let's just check that everybody's awake. How many of you are more hopeful than fearful about AI? There you have it. A lot of people didn't answer, okay? So some of you are 50-50, I would imagine. Okay, so with that very optimistic audience, we go to the second session.
Do you want to try?
Yes. Can you hear me? Okay, great. Good morning, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Doreen Bogdan-Martin. I'm the Secretary General of the International Telecommunications Union. And as the President well knows, 160 years ago in Paris, 20 countries came together, and I think they asked the same question. They said, are we ready? But it wasn't AI, it was actually the telegraph at the time. They came together, they signed the Telegraph Convention, they created the International Telecommunications Union, and it was all about unleashing the potential and the benefits of the telegraph, which would transform communications as we knew it back then. Today, of course, it's all about artificial intelligence. So I'm delighted to be moderating this closing panel of such a fantastic summit, one that I think has given us a glimpse, a sort of glimpse into a future where artificial intelligence can drive progress for people and for planets in unprecedented ways. As we saw, we have a room of optimists here, many people filled with hope, as am I, to see how we can use artificial intelligence to eradicate disease, to boost food production, and also to revolutionize how we learn and how we work. But is humanity prepared for an AI-driven future that feels like it's coming at us faster than ever before? And to help us answer that question, I have the great honor of introducing someone who deeply understands both the challenges and the opportunities of artificial intelligence and how it is already transforming our world. Someone whose vision and foresight led to the adoption of the Global Digital Compact. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we kick off this final session of the Paris AI Action Summit, please join me in welcoming the United Nations Secretary General, Antonio Guterres. Please.
Excellences, chers amis, permettez-moi tout d'abord de remercier le président Macron et le Premier ministre Modi d'avoir organisé ce sommet pour l'action sur l'intelligence artificielle. Chers amis, allons droit au but. Regardons le monde qui nous entoure, au-delà de tous ceux qui sont dans cette salle. Notre réunion pose une question fondamentale sur notre rapport collectif à l'intelligence artificielle. Sommes-nous prêts pour l'avenir? La réponse s'impose d'elle-même. Non. Nous ne sommes peut-être même pas collectivement prêts pour le présent. En un battement de cils, l'intelligence artificielle a quitté l'univers de la science-fiction pour devenir une force puissante qui révolutionne notre monde, transformant nos modes de vie, de travail et d'interaction, alimentant des avancées majeures dans l'éducation, la santé, l'agriculture, mais mettant également à l'épreuve nos valeurs communes et nos droits fondamentaux. Le pouvoir de l'intelligence artificielle impose d'immenses responsabilités. Aujourd'hui, ce pouvoir est entre les mains d'une poignée de personnes, tandis que certaines entreprises et certains pays se lancent dans une course effrénée avec des investissements sans précédent. La plupart des nations en développement se retrouvent laissées pour compte. Cette concentration grandissante des capacités en matière d'intelligence artificielle menace d'aggraver les clivages géopolitiques. Nous devons empêcher l'émergence d'un monde de nantis et de démunis de l'intelligence artificielle. Nous tous travaillons ensemble. Nous devons faire que l'intelligence artificielle puisse combler le fossé entre les pays développés et les pays en développement et non le creuser. Elle doit accélérer le développement durable et pas perpétuer les inégalités. Excellencies, the United Nations offers an inclusive, transparent and effective platform for AI solidarity. And we are working to strengthen the platform. The Global Digital Compact, adopted at the Summit of the Future, established the first universal agreement on the governance of AI. It brings the world together around a shared vision, one where technology serves humanity, not the other way around. The creation of an independent international scientific panel on AI will be central to translating this vision into reality. By pooling global expertise, the scientific panel will promote a common understanding of AI risks, benefits, capabilities and opportunities, and help bridge knowledge gaps. I urge everyone to support the creation without delay. Member States also agreed to establish a global dialogue on AI governance within the United Nations to ensure that all countries have a voice in shaping the future of AI. Through the global dialogue, we can align governance efforts around the world and reinforce their interoperability, uphold human rights in AI applications, and prevent misuse. The UN provides an inclusive forum for cooperating, complementing existing mechanisms such as the OECD AI principles, G7 and the Global Partnership on AI, as well as regional efforts by the African Union, the European Union, ASEAN, and the Council of Europe. And I am confident that discussions at this summit will help enrich this dialogue. The Compact also calls for building AI capacity in developing nations. And this is not only about technology diffusion. We need concerted efforts to build sustainable digital infrastructure at an unprecedented scale, foster talent and train workforces to develop, deploy and maintain AI systems, and ultimately empower peoples and nations to become not just users, but active participants in the AI revolution. A global AI capacity building network, as proposed by a high-level advisory body on AI, is an economic necessity and a moral imperative. Today's launch of Current AI, a public interest partnership, is an important contribution. I will soon present a report on innovative voluntary financing models and capacity building initiatives to help all countries harness AI as a force for good. And finally, we know that AI can be a force for climate action and energy efficiency. But we also know AI power-intensive systems are already placing an unsustainable strain on our planet. So it is crucial to design AI algorithms and infrastructures that consume less energy and integrate AI into smart grids to optimize power use. From data centers to training models, AI must run on sustainable energy so that it fuels a more sustainable future. Excellencies, I began with a question. Let me end with a few more. Who decides what problems AI should or should not resolve? Who benefits most from its deployment? Who bears the cost of its mistakes? These questions affect everyone, and so the answers must also involve everyone. It is in all our interests for governments and technology leaders to commit to global guardrails, to share best practices, and to shape fair policy and business models. The whole world benefits when development banks and philanthropic community provide catalytic funding to jumpstart capacity building worldwide. And we all stand to gain when academia and thought leaders help to navigate through this complex landscape. AI is not standing still, neither can we. Let us move for an AI that is shaped by all of humanity, for all of humanity. In other words, let's make sure we are ready for the future right now, and I thank you.
Secretary General. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard the Secretary General. We urgently need to get ready for the future and make sure that AI is shaped by all of humanity, for all of humanity. To help us do that, I'm joined by an incredible group of 3 panelists, and I'd like to introduce them to you now. We have to my right, His Excellency Prime Minister Orpo, the Prime Minister of Finland. To my left, we have Dr. Fatih Birol, the Executive Director of the International Energy Agency. And back to my right, we have Madam Soo-Yeon Choi. She is the CEO of NAVER. South Korea's largest internet company and provider of digital services, from search to robotics, cloud solutions, and of course, AI. So, Prime Minister, let me start with you, and if you could share with us some of the challenges, some of the opportunities you have seen in Finland to try to scale artificial intelligence so that it benefits all. Prime Minister, over to you.
Thank you so much. Your Excellencies, let me first extend my thanks and congratulations to President Macron and the government of France for making this summit reality, and also to Prime Minister Modi co-hosting this very important summit. This is a landmark effort for building consensus on global cooperation on artificial intelligence, and it is an achievement already how you are gathered, so many of us here. And I want also to recognize the important role that the United Nations plays in building global consensus on these matters. Thank you very much for your speech, Secretary General. As a Prime Minister of Finland, I saw huge potential on AI, potential to strengthen our welfare and security, to boost sustainable economic growth. But as a first answer to your question, how have we solved the challenges in scaling the use of AI in Finland? So we have invested in the infrastructure we need to harness the benefits of AI. In Finland, we have decided already years ago that AI is a national top priority for us. It is also top priority to my government. In Finland, we like concrete actions, and we have increased our already high public investment to research and innovation during my government. We are going to reach 4% of GDP by 2030. As the field of AI is developing rapidly, we have decided to keep investing in, first, enabling infrastructure, second, access to quality data, and third, world-class supercomputers. We are also building competence through attracting, educating world-class talent. Recently, we have invested additional funding to launch a European ELIS AI Institute in Finland. These issues should also be priorities for Europe. As we know, Europe as a whole is behind its key competitors, and we need to step up our game. We need to strike a balance between regulation and innovation and make sure that we don't create additional obstacles for the beneficial usage of AI. In Finland, we have many world-class companies in addition to a growing startups ecosystem. These include Finnish-French Nokia, which invests heavily in AI-powered networks, and the elevator and escalator operator KONE, known for AI expertise such as predictive maintenance. I see AI being closely connected with protecting rule of law and democracy. We need AI that is aligned for our values. This is where international cooperation in AI governance is also critical. My second point is public-private partnership. As a small country, we can be fast and cooperate flexibly across sectors. Our national AI strategies have always been prepared in close collaboration with all stakeholders. This is natural for us. In our case, public and private sector investments are coming together to take AI research and application in Finland to the next level. Finland was recently chosen to host one of the 7 European AI factories, and we are already working to build next-generation pan-European supercomputers through Lumi AI. Serious investments in quantum computing are also taking place in Finland. Our context also means we can quickly launch pilots and experiments. For example, we are now looking for using AI for legislative drafting. And thirdly, sustainable AI. We must find ways to address the energy efficiency demand for AI in a sustainable way. Finland is home for one of the most eco-efficient data centers in the world, running on green energy. And the heat generated is circulated back into the community. This is part of circular economy where resources are not wasted. And finally, Mr. President Macron and Prime Minister Modi, here you are showing the way forward, and it is very crucial for all of us that you are holding this summit here. We are happy to support the Sustainable AI Coalition. This is an excellent way to raise standards for more sustainable AI. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prime Minister. I appreciate the points, in particular about the public-private partnership, of course, the sustainability angles. I'm sure many leaders in this room can relate to the way you describe the Finnish experience and how you have tried to scale artificial intelligence in ways that benefit all citizens and all communities. So thank you so much for that. That brings me to my next panelist, Dr. Birol, the Executive Director of the leading authority on energy, the International Energy Agency. So, Dr. Birol, if you can share with us a bit why it's so important that we understand and we need to make the link between energy and technologies like artificial intelligence, and also how IEA is approaching the AI revolution in your work. Please, over to you.
Many thanks. May I first thank and congratulate President Macron. Mr. President, once again, on such an important topic for the humanity, you brought the global leaders, companies, all stakeholders together to have a constructive dialogue. Thank you very much for that, Mr. President. And also congratulations, Mr. President, in the year, already in 2017, 8 years ago, you have identified AI as a key topic for France and beyond. Also, thanks to Prime Minister Modi for co-hosting this event, and also congratulations for the recent India AI mission strategy and making strong steps. As we speak now, ladies and gentlemen, the largest data center of the world is being put together in Gujarat. It's a huge data center. Congratulations, Mr. Prime Minister, for that. I would like to talk about very briefly on the AI energy nexus. And it is, I can tell you, it is not an easy one, not a straightforward one. It is creating challenges for the energy, but also opening opportunities for the energy sector. And at the end, I will make an announcement which I believe is of interest to many of us here. So, first the challenge. In the global energy sector, we have already many challenges. And now, on top of that, with the data centers, there is an additional need for energy, electricity. There is no AI without energy. Just to put in a context, one medium-sized data center consumes electricity as much as 100,000 households. Just to give you the context, so much electricity is needed. And AI companies, rightly so, want to have secure electricity, affordable electricity, and sustainable electricity. Therefore, the countries that have the electricity supplies secure, sustainable, and affordable, they are one step ahead of the others because they are ready. Now, when we look globally, as we do in the IEA, we already see the electricity demand trends being impacted with the additional demand coming from data centers. But the problem is the following, dear colleagues. A data center you built in less than 1 year, but a transmission line for electricity you need about 5 years to build. There is a décalage, there is a gap of time between those two, and how to make sure that the governments, tech companies, and the energy industry work together is a key challenge for all of us, and it's a key topic for this meeting as well. We look at all data centers investments in the world which have the FID for the next 5 years. Thousands of them are going to be built. And we look at the electricity supplies coming, and there is a significant gap which may well lead to delays or cancellations of some data centers project. So this is the challenge in front of us, of the governments finding electricity for the data centers in a clean way, in a secure way, and in an affordable way. So this is the challenge. What about the opportunity? Now, AI accelerates the innovation in energy technologies. For example, battery chemistry, much cheaper, much more environmentally friendly, will come soon as a result of AI. We are going to see that AI, it is going to optimize our electricity systems and increase the efficiency, the grids, transmission lines, and the others. It will help us, AI, to better predict the weather events. So these are all very good. Plus, AI data centers create new business models and give momentum to technologies such as nuclear power, including the small modular reactors, or new technologies of geothermal energies. So this also creates new challenges and make those technologies investable for the world. So we see a lot of opportunities coming with the AI for the innovation side and providing productivity efficiency. The third point, and I would like to finish here, an announcement from the IEA. At the IEA, we believe in numbers. And when we come to AI and energy, there are many uncertainties. It is very new. So we have decided this coming April to launch an IEA observatory for energy and AI, where we are going to look all the data centers, how much electricity they will need, what are the electricity plants there, and the impact of AI implications on the energy technologies so that the entire world can learn from best practices, and it will be an open source for everybody. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much for that and for elaborating on those challenges that you see as well as the opportunities, and very excited about the observatory. I think that represents exactly the kind of data-driven scientific approach that we need to be able to better understand AI's energy footprint as this transformative technology continues to reshape society and reshape our planet. And we also think that that observatory and the AI energy metrics that you're looking at is an imperative, and it's actually a great complement to something the Prime Minister has also just mentioned, and that's the launch, and if I can say today, of our Coalition for Sustainable Artificial Intelligence. We're delighted and excited that this is part of the Paris AI Action Summit. And this coalition was initiated by France, so thank you so much, Mr. President, by the United Nations Environmental Program, and also by my organization, the ITU. It's a truly multi-stakeholder effort, and it's about ensuring that artificial intelligence develops in the interest not only of our planet, but also of all people, including the developing world. We have more than 90 partners, and Prime Minister Modi, I look to you because India is one of the latest partners, so thank you also for that. We have more than 90 that have joined this coalition, including leading AI companies. We have digital infrastructure firms. We have AI research labs. We have NGOs. We have investment firms. And I think it's actually a historic moment where we show that we can do good things when we join forces, we collaborate, and we advance for a common cause and purpose, which is sustainable artificial intelligence. At the ITU, we're also proud to be contributing to this effort. We want to make sure that all countries have the tools, have the instruments to benefit from AI. We're excited to bring our AI for Good platform also to the fore, where we're focused on skilling, we're focused on innovation as well. We have the CODAS work that we're doing that focuses on sustainability for digital services, and we're also working, of course, with our standards partners. We've heard standards mentioned this morning by many. So looking at sustainable AI standards and also advancing climate commitments through our Green Digital Action Initiative. I think it is quite a global effort. It spans all regions, and look forward to taking it further. And that brings me to my next and final panelist, who's also part of this coalition. So thank you, Soo-yeon Choi from Naver, for being part of it. If you can share with us a bit on the sustainability piece, but also shifting a bit the conversation, how you're using AI to work at scale to enrich both culture and productivity. Over to you.
So this is 12-1. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Soo-yeon Choi, CEO of Naver. So first, I'd like to express my gratitude for having me at this meaningful event. And for some of the audience that maybe is not so familiar with Naver, I'd like to introduce about our company. Naver is one of the few companies that has defended its domestic search market, hence its own leadership, without any other government intervention. We are also the third company globally to develop our own hyperscale AI model. We are go-to service for the majority of the population in Korea, with users in globally. We started our company as a search engine 25 years ago, and our services have expanded to social media, commerce, fintech, content, and cloud as well. This is very interesting. Today's topic, are we ready for the future? It is the question. It is all of our employees has it in our mind, because we are not as big as global giant, but we successfully survive for now. For Naver, diversity is one of our most important values because we are the search engine. So if you ask me how we survived, I can answer that because we are always serious we have our own digital ecosystem. Our ecosystem showcases the flywheel that connects all of our users, creators, sellers, sometimes user to user through search. Creators and sellers use our search engine to promote their content. Users can find the information they want while sharing information and communicating with each other. Since the very beginning of our history, when we didn't have enough Korean documents, you can imagine. And we don't have enough Korean documents compared to English, and we have to compete against global search engines by providing one specific to the Korean language. So that's why we especially try to find solution to the Korean web, where there want enough digitalized documents. Along the way, we realized that what people are looking for is not websites, but information, especially real-life information. And that's how we began to create our own digital ecosystem. For instance, Naver created a service where users can ask questions and have it answered by another user. The outcome of such engagement among users was integrated with our search and became meaningful information for many people in Korea. We continue to learn these kind of services that connect users, so their contents and information can be connected the world through search. We believe this kind of our efforts continue in the age of AI, where AI is changing search and the content platform and user experience paradigms. Questions and answers to numerous information, posts that deliver daily tips, and unique products from sellers, these contents are what we recreate with AI as everyday tools for users. Our AI will be a tool that connects users, creators, and sellers in a more refined way. AI-enabled search will allow users to enjoy content by various creators that aligns with their intent. Using AI, we are building a search tool that identifies more information comprehensively. This tool also lets users connect more deeply with content that suits their intents and interests. We are also applying AI to commerce to help users discover stores and products by a wider range of sellers. By understanding users' underlying intent and context, AI will recommend products their users really want. This is expected to create a commerce platform where various tastes and personalities coexist and are actively connected. And we have a very interesting service named Webtoon, which is online comic manga platform with stories, plots, and productions. AI curator plays an important role. It recommends titles by identifying what users like, which helps them discover more genres and stories. In addition, AI will be a tool that unlocks the potential of users, creators, and sellers, and help them grow. Creators on Webtoon can use their AI Painter tool. With the help of this tool, they can focus on creative stories or detailed sketches. On the commerce platform, sellers run their business with AI-enabled marketing, customer service, and product display solutions. This helps them focus more on essential work, such as product development. We own key fundamental AI techs and large-scale services used by millions of users. That's how we gained our know-how and experience to create and develop a flywheel that can bring bigger opportunity to the digital ecosystem in Korea. Recently, we've seen possibilities of developing high-performance AI models more efficiently. This is expected to pave the way for the company like Naver to narrow the technological gap between the global big tech companies. With big tech companies dominating the global search market, Naver has become the third alternative with our extensive experience and know-how. We believe the same can be said for the global AI market. Naver's strategy will combine our experience, know-how, and large-scale services with our own AI techs. Based on this, we'll continue to create a flywheel that can bring bigger opportunities to the digital ecosystems. Together with the global community, Naver will strive to become a new option that adds to the diversity of the AI ecosystem. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing the Naver story and how you leverage the local context to create such a thriving digital ecosystem. Thank you for that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we started this session with a question. Are we ready? The UN Secretary General made it very clear we must be. And I want to thank my three panelists. Thank you for sharing how we can get there and how we can do it sustainably. Thank you for that. I think with countries like Finland that are already adopting and scaling artificial intelligence with an inclusive, iterative, agile approach to innovation, with international organizations like IEA bringing essential data and analysis to help inform the global dialogue on energy and artificial intelligence, and of course with companies like Naver, making sure that AI is actually relevant to local markets, to cultures, because that's how we can make sure that no one is left behind in this AI revolution. Most of all, we need the international multi-stakeholder cooperation. I think that's something that's also been shown in our Coalition for Sustainable Artificial Intelligence. I do think we are better prepared than ever. I think we are prepared to ensure that AI is beneficial, that it's beneficial to all of humanity, to people, and for planet. And Prime Minister, as you mentioned this morning, that artificial intelligence is used for good and for all. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, and I hand back to Alessandra. Over to you.
Thank you, Doreen, and thank you for that great recap of the second session. Well, all that remains then is for the last word. And the last word goes to our host, President Macron.
Bien, chers amis, merci beaucoup. Merci pour votre présence, votre participation pour ces journées, ce sommet de l'action. 700 participants du monde entier se sont retrouvés. Et merci pour avoir dessiné ce qui ressort et ce qui a émergé comme étant les actions de Paris pour l'IA, qui, nous l'espérons avec mon ami le Premier ministre Narendra Modi, avec qui nous avons co-présidé ces travaux, sera une base solide pour l'avenir. Ce sont au total plusieurs dizaines d'engagements, une centaine de décisions, d'initiatives et de coalitions sur des sujets extrêmement variés, mais qui nous permettent d'embrasser les défis évoqués durant tous les travaux. Alors, je ne prétendrai pas ici résumer la totalité de ce qui s'est dit, mais je voudrais au fond essayer de tirer 3 lignes de conviction. La première, c'est que nous sommes tous convaincus que nous sommes dans un moment d'innovation et d'accélération. Et c'est pourquoi il y a eu tout au long des débats, on l'a encore vu aujourd'hui, ce dilemme, est-ce qu'on doit être positif, négatif, avoir peur, avoir confiance? L'action, en quelque sorte, c'est une morale par elle-même. C'est déjà décidé que nous avons envie d'en être, nous sommes conscients que c'est une compétition, et que nous sommes décidés, parce qu'aussi c'est un sujet de souveraineté, à tous y participer. Et donc, le moment que nous vivons est un moment d'innovation et d'hyper-rapidité, et un moment d'accélération, en effet, des investissements et des choix. À l'occasion de ce sommet, nous avons pu annoncer 109 milliards d'investissements privés, internationaux et français dans l'intelligence artificielle en France. Et tout à l'heure, la présidente de la Commission européenne a annoncé 200 milliards d'investissements publics et privés dans l'intelligence artificielle en Europe. Ces 2 chiffres montrent, quelques semaines après les annonces faites par les États-Unis d'Amérique, après le succès chinois de DeepSeek, après les annonces faites par nos amis dans le Golfe de très grands investissements, après les annonces indiennes, canadiennes et de tant d'autres ici présents, à quel point la course est lancée. Et c'est une bonne chose. Mais à quel point nous sommes dans cette course. Et les chiffres que je viens de rappeler montrent aussi, je m'en félicite, ce réveil européen et cette volonté d'en être. Nous voulons continuer d'investir dans les talents, c'est-à-dire la formation de nos jeunes, la création de plus en plus de postes de recherche et de postes universitaires. Nous voulons investir dans les données, leur consolidation, un cadre aussi sûr d'accès à ces données, je vais y revenir. Nous voulons investir dans les data centers et la présidente de la Commission a annoncé ce programme en cours de création de data centers à travers l'Europe pour la recherche publique et les start-up. Nous avons annoncé plusieurs data centers massifs également financés par le secteur privé en France à l'occasion de ce sommet, avec une force, c'est la capacité à avoir de l'énergie décarbonée soutenable. Et c'est là où le modèle français de nucléaire civil est une force. Et puis, nous avons aussi décidé tous ensemble d'accélérer en termes d'application. Plusieurs l'ont évoqué, l'application dans les sciences, l'application dans la mobilité, l'application dans la défense et la sécurité. Plusieurs grands groupes français internationaux ici présents ont conclu des partenariats importants pour justement signer avec des nouveaux acteurs de l'intelligence artificielle ces partenariats et saisir ces opportunités. Nous sommes au fond convaincus que l'intelligence artificielle va nous permettre de mieux apprendre, de mieux nous soigner, de mieux travailler, de mieux vivre au fond dans nos sociétés. Et c'est un sujet, oui, de compétition, d'innovation, de souveraineté, mais nous sommes à un moment d'innovation et d'accélération. Le deuxième message, c'est au fond comment bâtir la confiance. Et je crois que pour sortir du dilemme risque-opportunité, pour éviter tout de suite aller vers la régulation qui s'impose et qui pourrait bloquer l'innovation, je crois que le défi qui nous est tous posé, et il est évidemment au gouvernement, mais à la société civile, aux acteurs privés, aux grands investisseurs, c'est de savoir comment la confiance à l'égard de l'intelligence artificielle et de sa diffusion est maintenue. Parce que ce sera la clé de sa réussite. Si nous cassons cette confiance, eh bien, l'intelligence artificielle divisera le monde. Si nous cassons cette confiance, alors elle ne sera pas adoptée par des tas et des tas de secteurs, et vous verrez que dans quelques années, on aura beaucoup de nos compatriotes qui diront « on n'en veut pas chez nous ». C'est une source, au fond, de mal-vivre. Et qu'est-ce qui va fonder cette confiance? D'abord, c'est un accès juste et ouvert. Et la question de l'accès est décisive. L'accès international, c'est pourquoi je tenais à ce qu'il y ait plusieurs représentants du continent africain, latino-américain et pacifique. Et je crois qu'il faut qu'on veille tous à ce qu'il y ait un juste accès à ces innovations de tous les continents. Et je crois que ça correspond vraiment à ce que nous portons avec le Premier ministre Modi de cette troisième voie qui consiste à dire, au fond, nous on ne veut aucune vassalisation, mais on veut aussi qu'il y ait un accès juste et ouvert de ces innovations à toute la planète. Et je ne crois pas dans cette division du monde entre un Sud et un Nord qui se regarderaient en face à face. Je pense qu'un des défis, si on veut qu'il y ait la confiance justement dans l'intelligence artificielle, c'est de s'assurer de l'égal accès de tous les continents à ces innovations. Et c'est un défi qui touche le public comme le privé. C'est le même défi que nous avons dans nos sociétés. Il ne faut pas laisser s'installer une division entre certains, les plus âgés, les plus vieux, certaines parties de nos territoires dans l'accès à l'intelligence artificielle. La deuxième chose, c'est la qualité des données. Si on veut qu'il y ait de la confiance dans l'intelligence artificielle, il faut qu'on puisse avoir, de manière progressive, de plus en plus consolidée, des données de qualité et qu'il y ait des tiers de confiance qui puissent progressivement les certifier. Le troisième élément, c'est qu'on veut des modèles, je le disais pour l'accès ouvert, mais pluriels, pluralistes. Nous sommes différents, cette salle le montre. Et l'exemple pris par le Premier ministre Modi tout à l'heure du droitier contre le gaucher pourrait se décliner à l'envi. Et donc on veut des modèles qui s'entraînent sur des sources ouvertes, on veut des modèles pluriels, et on veut en quelque sorte une intelligence artificielle qui nous ressemble. Et c'est pourquoi l'open source, le pluralisme des modèles, l'ouverture des bases de données pour entraîner ces modèles, la diversité donc de ces derniers, la transparence aussi des algorithmes, sont des éléments clés d'une confiance dans l'intelligence artificielle. On veut également un respect de la vie privée. Ça a été très bien rappelé hier soir dans nos débats. Et donc on veut en quelque sorte articuler ce monde où la donnée massivement ouverte permet d'accélérer l'innovation, mais où le respect de la vie privée et de nos secrets est assuré. Et donc un cadre de confiance qui permet à chaque citoyen d'avoir justement la garantie que la privacy, tout ce qui constitue sa vie privée, est respecté. Deepfake, des informations qui nous permettent de choisir. On veut un cadre de confiance qui nous permet de protéger nos instances des attaques cyber, et donc qui nous assure une vie tranquille dans l'intelligence artificielle. On veut un cadre de confiance qui respecte la créativité. Et donc, ce que chacune et chacun fait et qui lui revient, le droit d'auteur, les droits voisins, qui permettent à des artistes, des créateurs, des photographes, des journalistes d'être défendus dans leurs droits. On veut un cadre de confiance qui évite une utilisation de l'intelligence artificielle pour le contrôle de masse ou la destruction d'autrui. Et donc, ce qui est le cœur même de l'ordre public dans lequel nous vivons. Et on veut un cadre de confiance qui articule une intelligence artificielle si gourmande en énergie et notre souci de la planète et de la biodiversité. Et donc on a besoin de favoriser une intelligence artificielle qui va chercher de l'électricité décarbonée et surtout des modèles beaucoup plus frugaux qui vont nous permettre d'utiliser moins d'énergie. Ce que je dessine là, en quelque sorte, ce sont les communs, les piliers, et ce ne sont pas le problème des autres. Et ça ne doit pas être, en quelque sorte, un problème que les innovateurs renvoient à tous ceux qui auraient à gérer le reste. Ce sont des problèmes natifs de l'intelligence artificielle. C'est ce qui fait que nous aurons confiance ou pas dans l'intelligence artificielle, qu'elle viendra s'inscrire dans nos vies, dans la manière dont nos pays se tiennent, nos peuples vivent et l'ordre international peut se tenir. Et donc cette notion de confiance et les quelques paradigmes, les quelques principes que je viens de livrer, c'est le cadre dans lequel nous devons nous inscrire. Alors, nous avons lancé des premières coalitions et actions concrètes pour y répondre. La Fondation Current AI, elle y répond. Et donc, ce seront 400 millions d'euros qui seront d'ores et déjà investis. La France y contribuera à hauteur de 100 millions d'euros, mais je veux tous vous inviter à y entrer. C'est en quelque sorte un partenariat public-privé où on va essayer de répondre à ces questions de confiance. Et par exemple, sur la question des données, en créant un tiers de confiance qui va garantir justement la nature des données, leur sécurité, leur qualité. La coalition pour une IA durable, c'est une initiative qui permet de répondre à cet élément de confiance et qui va donner de la transparence, mais qui va aussi engager les acteurs publics et privés à aller dans cette direction. Les observatoires que nous avons décidés, sur à la fois le social comme l'énergie, c'est des cadres de confiance qui vont permettre de regarder les sujets tout à la fois de climat, mais aussi d'accessibilité, d'ouverture d'accès à l'intelligence artificielle. Et donc nous posons là les bases, à côté de l'innovation et de l'accélération, de ce qui va permettre à l'IA d'advenir et de tenir, c'est-à-dire les clés de la confiance. Et au fond, un ordre commun. Et c'est ce qui me conduit à ma dernière remarque. Tout ça doit nous conduire à défendre et à faire vivre un multilatéralisme pluriel de l'intelligence artificielle. Avec le Premier ministre Trudeau, il y a 7 ans, sous son égide, dans le G7 que le Canada présidait, on a lancé ce partenariat mondial pour l'intelligence artificielle. Il est abrité par l'OCDE, mais il fait vivre ce dialogue. 44 pays l'ont rejoint, on sera une 60aine bientôt, et il permet de faire vivre ce dialogue autour de la science, des solutions, des standards, entre acteurs de différents horizons et de différentes cultures. Les Nations Unies ont lancé ce pacte numérique mondial, ô combien important, vous l'avez rappelé, Monsieur le Secrétaire général, et beaucoup aussi, ici contribuent à ce dialogue. L'UNESCO, la francophonie, le Conseil de l'Europe, à travers leurs compétences, mais en apportant aussi toutes les connaissances que ces organisations font vivre. Au fond, on le voit, à travers ces différents cénacles, nous avons besoin, comme on l'a fait durant ce sommet, de continuer à faire avancer une gouvernance internationale de l'intelligence artificielle. Celle qui, au fond, sur la base des actions, des coalitions que nous avons lancées aujourd'hui, va nous permettre de consolider les éléments de confiance de l'intelligence artificielle aux côtés de ce moment d'accélération et d'innovation, et va nous permettre d'en poser les règles. Car nous avons besoin de ces règles pour que l'intelligence artificielle avance. Ça n'est pas de la défiance, ça n'est pas contrarier l'innovation, mais c'est lui permettre d'advenir avec un espace international dans lequel on évitera la fragmentation. Voilà les quelques convictions que je voulais ici partager avec vous. Au fond, nous croyons dans l'innovation, nous croyons dans l'accélération, nous croyons dans l'investissement, mais nous voulons aussi une IA de confiance, une IA qui recrée de l'unité dans la communauté internationale. Je voudrais terminer par un mot de remerciement pour vous toutes et tous qui avez contribué à ces travaux et à travers ces actions à poser les bases, je crois, de ce travail commun. Un mot aussi de remerciement à l'attention d'Anne Bouvreau, mon envoyé spécial pour ce sommet, qui a conduit tous ces travaux sur les 5 continents. Merci à elle, à sa formidable équipe, Martin Tisney, Sana de Courcelles, Roxane Varza, Guillaume Poupard, Henri Verdier, Alexandre Nirles, Arnaud Amabil, et à Chloé Goupil, la secrétaire générale de ce sommet qu'il a parfaitement organisé. Merci aux ministres et merci infiniment au Grand Palais, au Palais de la Découverte, de nous avoir accueillis durant ces travaux. Merci à toutes et tous d'avoir été là. Et maintenant, pour conclure, je veux inviter mon ami le Premier ministre Narendra Modi à nous dire quelques mots et à nous faire une grande annonce. Monsieur le Premier ministre.
Friends, today's discussions have brought one thing. There is unity in vision and unity in purpose across stakeholders. I welcome the decision to set up the AI Foundation at the Council for Sustainable AI. I congratulate France and my dear friend President Macron for these initiatives and assure our full support. We must also make the global partnership for AI truly global in nature. It should be more inclusive of the global South and its priorities, concerns, and needs. To build on the momentum of this Action Summit, India would be happy to host the next summit. Thank you.
Everybody up for a group photo with the co-hosts, please.
Thank you so much. Thank you.